Hello friends, by the end of this video you guys will be able to traverse your array without using a for loop or a for each loop, and I'll be showing you some of the things like how to iterate, how to use the sum method, how to use the reduce method, filters, map and sort, and we'll be viewing those things via a simple example of employee. So stay tuned. Let's get started. So I have used a simple array that includes three objects. Let's say we are using employee database, and we have names like employee one and a salary and address and all those things. So what we are using is anything and everything you want to traverse in array, we usually use for loop or for each, which is available in JavaScript. So we don't have to use for each for everything. So there are few methods which are very important and very useful. We can use those things. So I'll be covering those first, and the very first thing is sum. So what this sum returns is, so it returns a boolean value. It traverses the entire array, and it returns a boolean when your condition is satisfied. So how can we use that? So I'm using console for logging the results. So console.log, and so there is a function called Array.sum. So let's say if you want to check whether everything is every person is out of office or not, you want to close the office. So what will you do? You will check still in office flag. So it says that yeah, couple of person are out of office and one is still in office. So how can we check that? So what we'll do is we'll use Array.sum, and it will check let's say every it checks, and it takes a parameter element. So every element will be, so first element will be this, second will be this, and all those things. So what we want to see, so it's a function callback, and we want to check whether the uh, still in office, whether the person is still in office. Okay, and we want to check it as true. So this will return the, so if any of the object is having still in office true, it will return a boolean value true. So you can see, yes, there is a boolean which is true. So you can see here the console is here. So what if I make it as false again? So we will say false, yes. So none of the employees in office. Now you are free to close the door. So how so that's how we can iterate the entire array, and use the function to show whether any of the value matches with this parameter or not. Okay, and the next function is the reduce function, and in reduce function it returns a single output. So what do you mean by single output? Let's say if you want to consolidate the salaries, so let's say how much salary do I give to my employees, so I need to calculate those. So we need not have to traverse the entire array and add the salaries one by one. So there is a function, so we'll be using the console again. So here we can use Array.reduce. Okay, and Array.reduce is something which is taking some parameters. So I'll be telling you the parameters. First is the accumulative parameter. So this accumulates the values, whatever you want to do. So in our case, we are using the sum of the salaries. So we can use it as sum. And the second parameter would be the element, whatever you are passing. The third is index, and the fourth is the array itself. Okay, but here we don't need the array and index, so we can actually remove that for now. And so what this will return, so this should return element, so whatever the element is dot salary, and sorry, and whatever the sum was. So every iteration will give you a sum, and you can return this. So so if I run this, you will see something that it's returning something, but yeah, you can see the object. That's because initially the sum is considered as an object and it doesn't have any initial value. To add that initial value, we have to pass the second parameter as 0. That sum is initially as 0, and then only you can keep adding the salaries to that sum. And now you can see that the salary is considered as 3000. So this is how we can use the reduce function to iterate the entire objects or entire entries in the array. and use that accordingly. So third one is the filter function, and this one will return an array. So I'm again using consoles. So if it's returning an array, this is considered as an object. So if I do console.log, it will give us object to object. So I'll stringify it first, and now I'll use whatever the array function was there. So array.filter. So this will return you a new array, the filtered array, whatever you want. So whatever you want to filter, let's say I want to filter element. So this is a function, and this will return element. So let's say if you want to provide bus to these two employees who are in Mumbai. So what you will check is, let's see if the element dot address equals Mumbai. I need the list of those, actually those employees. So if I run this, you'll see that there is no such. Okay, so element.filter is a function, and that will return element.address equals Mumbai. And whatever we are doing here is returning this. Spelling is wrong, so we can use Mumbai. Now you can see there are a couple of employees which are having the Mumbai value. Let's say if I change it to Patna, so this should return only one, which is the employee one, and that's how we can iterate from the array, and we can see whatever object or whatever object array element we need can be filtered accordingly using this. You can filter the name, you can filter. So let's say if you want to filter that I want to check who is working late and why is not home yet. So if you want to see the information, you can use this. So this is again false for everyone. Let's say this is true. And now you can see that, yeah, employee 2 is still in office and he's working late today. Okay, and the next function is the sort function. Sort function is basically very important when you are working with the table and all those things. So usually we use tables to represent these kind of data, and we need sorting for that. So how can, again, this actually returns a sorted array. So we will be using the same JSON.stringify to see the values. And now what we will be doing is Array.sort, and sort basically takes a function and a return. So a function will be the first element and the comparison, whatever you want to compare it with. So that's how it can sort the things accordingly, right? So if I use, so let's say if I want a sorted element of salary. So if what I want is first dot salary minus second dot salary. So this will give you in uh, ascending order. So 500 is the first one. I see here. Okay, so there is a typo. So we can use this second dot salary. And if I run this, you will see that let's comment out these things for now. We don't need these anymore. So you can see this is sorted in the ascending order. So 500 at first. What if you want to see it in descending order? So what you have to do is you need to do the second first and the first next. Okay. So now you can see the descending order of the sorting is there. So this is how sorting works. And the most important is the map. So map is something what we will use to iterate the entire array to return the same kind of array to let's say modify. If you, let's say if you want to give bonus to all the employees, so how will we do that? So let's say if I want to give bonus, let's say 1000 bonus to every employee who is working. So the object will look like something like this. You can add bonus to, let's say, 100 rupees to every employee. So this will look like this. So how will you do that? We don't have to uh, use the for each loop and iterate and add an object that says bonus to everyone. And what we will do is we will use same console and array.map, and this map takes an element. Okay, and so this element will return. So this will be a function. Let's say how can we think of that? And this will return the existing element actually. So this will let's do like this. This will return the existing element. We can use this as spread operator, and existing element plus we want to add a bonus of 100 rupees to each element. So if I run this, oh sorry. Hmm. Now you will see that the objects are here, and what we need to do is so there was a typo in the object itself when I was using those bonus thing. So now you can use JSON dot y here. So now if you run this, you will see that yeah. So every employee has a bonus of 100 now. So this is the power of map. You can use map to iterate through the entire array object, and you can do whatever you want to do. And how this works is initially what I'm taking is whatever the elements are there. So take these elements and add a new element bonus 100 to all the elements which is kind of iterated. So this is how we can see that how the console, how the array methods, which are very important, can be used in iterating whatever you have in the arrays. Even you can use object dot keys to convert an object into an array and iterate whatever you want. So that's pretty much. Hope you guys learned something. Thank you. Bye bye.